now.
So live stream. Cool.
There we go. Very, very good. Hi,
Nice.
everybody. Happy, what are we today? Wednesday.
Well,
Wednesday,
hmm
Wednesday. Yeah. So I've been speaking to Alyssa, Dr. Alyssa, and I met her. I can't even tell you how many years ago it was. We were both on an article from Dr. Nisa Goldberg about our hearts, and they did a overview of us. Both of us were blessed with some heart issues, but our hearts are both really good right now. And they were
Yeah.
doing like a checkup on us, like how we were doing after our heart
The
situation.
art, yeah, the article is like, what are the traits of women with healthy hearts? Like, I don't have a heart issue,
Oh, you
but
didn't?
mm-mm, but
Oh,
I had, but I had been pretty overweight and then came down. Like when we did an amazing, we met during the photo shoot. That was how we actually like got to be in the same place, which was so
yeah.
fun.
Was Dr. Goldberg your doctor? Is that how
Mm-mm.
you got there?
You know the woman Julie who wrote the article?
Yes.
She was a neighbor, and so
Oh,
she had been follow. I had like a YouTube channel on my weight loss, and I think she was
awesome.
following that maybe. And so she said, "You want to be in this article?" I was like, "Yeah."
So there was another woman, the woman with the brown curly hair, the other woman.
Jennifer, yeah, she's a
Yeah,
good friend.
she knew like the producer or something like that. And
Hmm.
then Dr. Goldberg used to put me on everything because she was, always trying to show people that, what does a heart attack look like? Like a lot
Mm,
of people don't think, it's somebody that looks, healthy. And especially at the time, I was,
yeah,
way younger. And,
yeah.
that showed people. And
And
I'm
then there was a
really,
fourth woman. She had little kids. I
yeah.
remember. She had
And there was an
little.
older lady too. Yeah, it was interesting. There was a lady that was in the article that we never met.
Yeah,
But
we
it
never met
was,
that fifth woman. Hmm.
Suzanne, what was cool about it was like, how guys have like fantasy football camp or fantasy baseball camp? We had like fantasy model shoot. They were doing our hair, they were
Oh
doing our
my
make.
God, the makeup and wardrobe.
Alyssa
We had
got
the
like
whole
the
thing.
better wardrobe. Like I got like she got like the dress I would have wanted to wear. I was like,
Oh,
damn,
that was a nice dress, a red dress. I'll remember that. Yeah,
Yeah.
I wish we had. I never got like. I wanted like to get some of the pictures because they took so many good pictures of us, and we never got them. I never
I
got them.
I did ask for those too. I had like three or four, and I do have the magazine still. I don't know if you,
I
of
did too.
course, yeah.
Yeah, somewhere in storage somewhere.
So,
Yeah, it
you
was fun.
inspire me
Oh, thanks.
through
Like,
following you on LinkedIn, and I've been looking at your journey and your story. And
mm,
I love the way that you say people go into a marriage and they spend a lot of money on like an expensive honeymoon, and they don't ever actually learn about one another or how to communicate. And that's what your
mhm.
specialty is. So,
Yeah.
at for the very least, just like tell Suzanne exactly what you do, and then
Cool.
that'll be telling it the whole world.
Absolutely. So, I've had a lot of careers. I had a totally different career when we met way back when, WM. But recently, founded a company called This Is Deeper, and it's really a human connection company where we're trying to maximize the way that people can connect. And one of the products we have is called a deeper date night. And so I facilitate this date night. I am trained in as a somatic educator, so I know how to tell people how to work with their bodies. And so the foundation of a lot of the work we do in This Is Deeper is non-sexual touch, so platonic touch, which is a useful key even for folks who are married, or maybe even especially for folks who are married, to get them out of their heads and out of all the words that can get them jumbled up, us jumbled up. I was married too. And the words definitely got us jumbled up, um, and grounded into their bodies. And so we have this 2 hour virtual date night that we offer that allows folks to get grounded with each other and, using various tools that I've developed over the years, exercises and practices, they're able to reconnect with each other, see each other in new ways. And the most impressive part, which I didn't necessarily expect, even I had these three components, which are touch, connection, and communication. But the communication breakthroughs that they're having in these date nights has been incredible. Like stuff people have been holding for a decade that they couldn't get out is able to come out in a way that's positive, that they're able to hear each other and relate to each other. And I really attribute that to the physical grounding. And because I also been doing this sort of thing for 30 years, I'm able to create safe containers for people so they can go in and know that I'm holding a space for them. And I tell them, I said, I got this. I need you guys to just be here and be yourselves here. You don't have to hold this space. You don't have to worry about what's going to happen and that kind of stuff because that's my job. And so that's what we do.
That
And I
that
haven't.
just feels so
Mm,
so good. Like that just feel I mean, some of dating in this era of my
mhm,
life is like
mhm,
people are just like, let's get into it. And you're like, wow, like slow up. Like, like if you
mm,
could have like one of those companion dates, I'm
yeah.
thinking of somebody that I'm really, really fond of, but every time we go out, it's always like three steps ahead. Like, oh, we're going to do this. And and it's like,
Hmm.
slow down. It would be so much better. And
Yeah.
there's also, like the exercise that I learned over the years was breathing together with
Mm,
somebody and
absolutely.
how I always tell my friends that are like in a relationship, especially if like your your mate does that thing where they like roll over and they're like not talking to you. If you sync up your breathing, they just
Hmm.
they don't even know why. Why are we in tune? What's this about? Like, and they drop their guard down.
Yeah.
Tricky as it is, like if you are with somebody and it's something as simple as syncing up your breathing, that
Hmm.
you're going to be on the same plane. I mean, geez,
Hmm.
nobody teaches that though, you know?
Right. And those things are not, like you said, it's not hard to sync your breathing, but people don't know to do it. And so a lot of the work that is in This Is Deeper overall is about co-regulation. So about how do you regulate with other people. But I actually have a workshop coming up tomorrow, it's Thursday, Friday, and Monday, um, where we're doing something that I call Touch IQ. So Touch IQ is something that I created to help people understand how they're in control of their bodies and give them tools to not regulate their own nervous systems, to figure out just this. It's a 3-day mini immersive, so we can't do the whole thing,
Yeah.
but to start to develop those boundaries that are actually not boundaries to keep people out, which a lot of people have a lot of boundaries and wearing a hard shell and all this stuff to keep people away, but boundaries that give them freedom. Because when
Love
you
that.
establish boundaries that are conscious, that you're consciously saying, these are my lines, and if you want to play with me, then you're going to play within these lines. And if you get to that point of agreement with someone, and my coaching is helping people really develop the full set of skills they need to be able to negotiate those things. But just as a teaser in this 3-day mini thing, um, you just start to get a sense of like, well, this is what matters to me, or this is what feels good to me, and that doesn't. And so if I experience something that is outside of my boundary, then I have awareness, develop body awareness and conscious awareness enough to say, well, then this can't work. Then we're not going to do that. I don't know if you just said you just said this and articulated it so well, but a lot of times I think women find themselves in these situations where men want sex
Yeah, boom.
much quicker and faster, and not even necessarily the kind that you like, you know? It's the kind they want to give you. And so it's funny, the origin of Touch IQ was I was in Medellin, Colombia a couple months ago, and I was talking to this young woman, Canadian woman, she's in her 20s, and she's like, I, I'm gonna say, she said she doesn't hasn't had a lot of sexual experience, but she said I like the part after the sex where we're holding each other and talking nicely and all this stuff. And she says she feels like the sex is something she has to get through to
To
get to
get what
that
she
part.
needs. Wow.
Right. And I said, well, so the whole idea of touch IQ kind of came from that because I was like, why are you so disempowered? But why women our age were the same? We went through the same crap and went through this stuff where we just compromised ourselves or gave or opened ourselves just to get to the little part that they're offering that we want. And I said, how do I help figure out how to empower women, but empower all people in their bodies so that they can make more conscious decisions that put them in a position to get what they want without
Interesting.
compromising the stuff that they don't want.
I I feel like being that I work with young people all the time, I feel like
Hmm.
the game changed like totally. What like my eyes are open to like the next generation and the next generation, right? So like the kids that
Hmm.
are now in their 40s, I
Yep.
was, I've made friends with them and they're like, you know, we're close, like we talk or whatever.
Hmm.
And their body image, they don't have the body image issues that we have.
Mm.
And I think that there's different levels with body image that, I think our generation was really, really hard on themselves, like with
Hmm.
the skinniness
Yeah.
and these younger people, they're more about this is who I am and I'm
Hmm.
accepting of it. And,
Yeah.
we could even look at it like, wow, they're not healthy, but aren't they healthy that they have that self image, which is,
Yeah.
and
Mm.
also, I think at this stage in my life, my my experiences have changed
Sure.
where it's more enjoyable if I understand that somebody isn't looking at my body the way I'm looking at it. Like, right? Like
Mm.
I could be like, wow, I'm thinking of this person that just thinks that my body is so amazing. And I have to get out of my own way and
Yeah.
to enjoy that. And even
Hmm.
our girlfriends and our friends that are our age still have the issues.
Mm.
So,
I think
and
that's
it's
so
not
interesting.
everybody. Not
Yeah,
every,
of course.
yeah.
Yeah, I think it's so interesting because I think the thing that I find with younger folks, maybe millennials, but definitely like Gen Z,
Mhm.
is they're in some ways afraid to experience some of the hard things like emotions or heartbreak and that kind of stuff. So they stay on the surface or they just say, "Oh, I don't want that." Or they're just not willing to even do it at all, which I
Oh,
think is so interesting because I was like, heartbreak, how many times have I cried? 1 million times.
yeah.
Am I still here?
Yeah.
Yes.
Uh,
Right.
here's another one that's really, really interesting that like boggles my mind when I'm with the
Mm.
kids.
Mm.
They are they have way less hangups like when it comes to gender and lines and
Oh, for sure. Hmm.
and so there'll be like a situation where people come in and they tell us in advance that like my pronouns are this or whatever, and like I always try to talk to anybody that's experiencing pronouns and I said help me understand it so that I
Hmm.
can be fluid with it. And by no means is it's a habit for me to call you a she or a her or whatever. And
Yeah.
I could break it. So one thing that somebody said to me that I really respected was if there's a wallet on the counter
Hmm.
and you said you don't know what gender it who belongs to, you go,
Right.
hey, somebody left their wallet there, they must be
Yeah.
missing it. I wonder if they are going to come back, right? So they, right? And I'm like, oh.
Yeah.
And then when I was in the schools doing talks,
Mm,
I was always really careful to like say like, uh, I need somebody that's very creative, somebody
mhm,
that embodies creativity. Could you come up and have has a nice penmanship? Could you write this for me? Right?
mhm.
It's so simple, and that's not disrespecting of anybody. And I don't think
Absolutely.
that if people our age understood that that's all they are looking for, why
Mhm.
wouldn't we do it? Right?
Right.
And then the other thing that
Mm,
would keep me up at night, like when I'm at the camp with the kids, is like, oh my God, how do they like when I went to school, all the girls liked boys, all the boys liked girls, right? It was no like, and there was outliers that like were like quiet. And I had my
mhm.
friends that were lesbians and there was the gay guys, right? So, and I don't mean that by that's what we just used to say, right?
Yeah.
Now it's like, hey, I like you. Are you into my gender? Are you like how are you presenting? So
Mm.
confusing for me. Like
So many layers. Yeah,
so
it's
many
hard.
layers. It's like, wow.
I think they have good facility with it because it's theirs, like, it's
Yeah.
in their generation, and then for us, it's still like, I posted a YouTube video short, last week maybe, and I said, "I don't like having to say she, her when
Yeah.
I talk when you go in a meeting." They're like, "Put your pronouns on." I said, "I don't want to." But I said, "It's not." And I said, "This is not my area, so please, folks, correct me in any way that you need to correct me." But I'm just going to say, because for me, I don't look at my gender as a she, her as something that's limiting
Right.
or
Right.
defines what I can or can't do. I can wear pants, I can wear fucking fishnets, I can
Right.
wear whatever, I can
Rock the
hike.
red
I'm
dress.
gonna I'm gonna wear this red dress. I'm gonna have a hoodie on and grunt in the gym. I know how to use a hammer and a nail. I don't even think about cars, but oh well. But there's not to say that, but these are the way our society genders different activities, right? But I said, but I can do all kinds of stuff. My parents taught me to do all kinds of stuff and encouraged me to be able to do all kinds of stuff so that I would be an adult,
Right.
self-sufficient person. And I said, I don't, if a man wants to wear a skirt and a whatever, it doesn't make any difference to me. He can still be a man. He can still be a
Wearing a
he,
skirt.
him
Yeah.
and wear a skirt. Like, I'm just like, and then I didn't even get into like the genitals or whatever, but I'm just
Yeah.
like, I'm not
The whole pink
limited.
thing. Remember like a
Right.
real men could wear pink, right? Like that was like
Right.
a big
Yeah.
thing
Sounds
back
like a
then.
big thing, right? And
Some
I'm
of my
like,
manliest guy friends wear pink. Yeah, like that's
yeah,
like
my
not even
my
a
dad my dad had pink
bougie.
shirts, and pink used to be my kid's favorite color for a long time. But I'm just like, I don't get it. But then somebody explained some stuff similar to like what you said about the wallet. But they were explaining like the origins of why people were giving their genders, which was like totally separate from this, which was like something like, Discord or Reddit or those kinds of
Oh yeah,
things.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, like people were coming on there, but they would use anonymous names and it wouldn't be clear what their gender were. And so when people were trying to refer to each other, sometimes they would misgender that
Yeah,
person.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
because it was like totally anonymous kind of thing, like people started putting their gender. They gave me like this whole detailed 4 paragraph comment on the video. I was like, I learned so much. I
Right.
didn't even know. And then they said, but then it got political and it got like all this other stuff that has nothing to do with where the origins of why that was happening. And I was
Yeah.
like, wow, as
So
that's pretty typical.
another
But it
thing
was
that's running
incredible.
through my head about the touch is that
Mm,
because like the pandemic and because like what everybody was like, kind of like getting into themselves and stuff,
mm-hmm,
it feels like there's a lot less touching. Like when you like go to church, right? Like people are like,
mm-hmm,
okay, I'm not gonna like hold your hand or whatever. Like
mm-hmm,
I go to these meetings, they used to hold hands, they used to hug. I used to hug
mm-hmm.
everybody. There's like it's almost like a unspoken like don't touch me. And Suzanne does an
Mm.
incredible work that she talks to people that are probably on the outskirts and like
Oh,
I'm thinking like touch, even like a friendly hand touch is something that they might not get, that you could offer them. I mean, it's a crazy. Do you have an experience with touch, Suzanne, and what you do?
Well, more so when I worked with the juveniles than I do now with the adults.
Right.
But they're and not even so much as it being it was more unexpected type of thing, like biffing somebody upside the back of the head. It
Yeah.
just something crazy out of the middle of nowhere like that was just like all of a sudden it jostles them into, oh my gosh, you really
I'm a
care about
person.
me. Yeah,
Yeah.
well, and it's because, and of course it was followed by, words of like, well, if you were my child type of
Yeah.
thing. But it's amazing on how just literally just putting your hand on somebody, as long as there's permission or, cameras or
Yeah.
whatever,
Yeah.
how big it makes a difference. So yeah.
That's a crazy thing too, with like all the rules. Like you can get caught up in your head. Like before I go to the camp, they have like this program you have to go through, lightness to darkness, like, and it's so that nobody, is overstepping any bounds. And I get it, but you become so conscious of it, almost like when I first started doing neurolinguistic programming, you almost get tongue tied when you're speaking because it's like a new behavior. So when you're with the kids, after you've experienced this, like, there has to be two people in sight, and like you can't touch anybody, and like you have to have make sure that there's, and it's like what you to navigate all that on a conscious level and it not show up. It's,
Yeah.
like I'll be with my friends' kids, and like I just realize I'm like looking if there's like a third person there. I'm just like, this is so crazy. Like with my friend's kid, you know what I mean? It's
Oh
like,
my
whoa, whoa,
God.
whoa.
Oh.
But it's all good. It's good to teach people that boundaries matter, and that,
Mhm.
you know, at the very least, we teach these kids at the camp that, you shouldn't be alone in a room with a teacher without somebody that could see you, or, whatever,
Mhm.
because there are crazy people in this world, unfortunately.
Yeah, it's so unfortunate. And then at the same time, I don't know what they're teaching there, but I hope they're teaching the kids about boundaries in a way that makes them feel empowered.
Yes.
And but then also makes them feel empowered to touch because
That's very important. That's what you said in the beginning. That's very important. Um,
right.
so we would do a fire walk with these kids, and
Mm.
I almost hope that somebody would say no, right? And I knew
Mhm.
that's a terrible thing. But what happened was, there was this little girl, and it was my girlfriend's daughter,
Mm.
and everybody was coming up to her. Did you walk on the fire? Did you walk across the coals? Did you walk? And so what happened was, when I saw that she wasn't going to walk, I
Mhm.
empowered her not walking. I said,
Yeah.
look at all these people. You're not feeling it. You're feeling something in your gut. You do not want to do this. Turn around, look at all these people, like anchoring it with her. And I'm like, look at
Mhm.
all these people you could say no to. If you could
Mhm.
say no to all these people and Tony Robbins and everybody else, right? If you could say
Yeah.
no, remember this feeling that when something doesn't feel right, that you take on this strength and say, I said no to 500 people telling me to walk across coals. I could say no to you,
I love
dude,
it.
that I'm not feeling, you know?
I love it.
And then the next
I love
day,
that.
that little girl had such a different, like, because the people in the events would be like, hey, did you walk on fire, right? Like they'd be, and like if there was that kid that didn't, they'd be like, no. She's like, no, and nobody could make me, I'm like, yes,
I
yes.
love
I
that.
would
God.
tell everybody that story instead of dragging this kid over the coals, like after they went out, like the people would get in their ego, and they'd be like,
Mhm.
you're going to do it. You're going to do it. I'll carry you across. Like, that's not, no, that
That's
was not
not it
empowering at all. So I
at
would tell
all.
them this other technique, and a lot of people would use it. And it was a good thing to learn. So there's
That's so
power in saying
powerful.
no, but there's also, you
Absolutely.
need to leave the door open to say yes. I totally
Right.
agree. And many
Yeah.
people have experiences that aren't good. And then, like, how do you open the door to that? And,
There's
that's
a
another.
lot of healing that has to take place. Touches my religion. I don't have any religion, but if I had
I
one,
like that. I love that.
touch
We
would
need
be
to get
my
her a
religion,
t-shirt.
right? Because it's just because it has psychological effects. This is safe, non-sexual touch I'm talking about. Sexual touch is incredible too, but that's not what we're talking about.
Completely different, right?
But non-sexual touch, it can lower your blood pressure. It can change your hormones. It can give you an oxytocin hit, like that bonding hormone. It can anchor you in your body to be able to connect with people differently. It's a way to be able to see one another and see yourself in other people. It gives so much. It's a foundation for building social connection. And it's so I'm a see again, I'll give another religious term. I'm an evangelical for this. Like
I love
it's
this. I love this.
so
Feels so good,
important to
right?
our it feels so but it's so important for your own individual well-being, but also our collective well-being. And like
It
the
has to
thing I
be learned, though. It has to be taught because,
it has to be taught
yeah,
because society teaches us the opposite.
there's also
Religion
that.
and society teaches us that it's something to be afraid of. And then the traumatic experiences that people have with touch where there's a violation
They're
makes them afraid too. And that's very common, whether that's violence, whether that's somebody crossing a sexual bound, whether that's just, somebody just being in your space and you don't know how to say no. Like those violations happen all the time and we just normalize them or just brush over them. But that also makes people afraid.
non-sexual touch. This is something that came up with Lana. Lana's one of my friends that has been on the show a couple times.
Mm,
That she was in a situation in like a group setting, and
mm,
she was moved and she was crying, and
mm,
somebody like came over, like kind of like disturbed her, like gave her the tissue and like didn't just
mm,
let her cry.
mm.
Like the crying is not gonna like ruin her clothes. It's not gonna like whatever. And if
Cheers.
she needed a tissue, she could have grabbed it herself. It's almost
Mhm.
like people are uncomfortable with you having emotions. So
Yep.
they to comfort themselves, and like always like just let them cry. Don't worry about it. They have a sleeve, like, leave them
Right.
alone.
Go
And
Mhm.
live.
also when people are grieving, like if you catch them in that state where they're at their worst and like you're like patting them or hugging them, you're embedding that desperation, that fear of loss and whatever.
Mm,
And then somebody could come along and tap them on the shoulder, just like, like, oh, I'm so sorry, man. And it
mhm.
could send them back to that place. So touch is so powerful both
It, it
ways.
really is. It
Oh
really is.
no, shush. Little girl's got to put her 2 cents in.
No.
Wild. Very, very, very interesting. I would definitely, love for you to tell us more about it, or like how your event goes, and
Yeah.
just love that you're sharing this. So this is obviously the thing that sparks you, and it, makes you inspired.
That's my thing. And I mean, like my vision. So there's the individual work, there's the date nights, but the thing that I'm piloting probably to start early 2026 are things I'm calling a touch lab. So I got raised in there's not a tradition, but like I got my eyes open to non-sexual touch in a cuddle party. I don't know if you ever heard of a cuddle
Oh,
party.
no.
Um, Cuddle party still going on. They still happen, but they're facilitated events where you learn and practice a lot of consent, and then you have an opportunity to cuddle with people in that framework of consent. And I went to one maybe 9 years ago now, and I left it, and my brain chemistry was different.
Mm.
Like I swear, I left, and I was not only high on oxytocin, I get that you get that hit from being held, but I also was super empowered because as a woman who, I'm had a robust sex life and was also sexualized a lot. Um, to feel those boundaries and that consent in a way that I'd never had it before, and to be in a situation where sex was not on the table, but touch was on the table, changed a whole framework in my brain. And so I got certified in that, and I worked for a while as a as a cuddlist, where I actually cuddled people for a living
Cuddlist.
for a little
I
while,
like
which was
that.
fun. But like that framework is what, as the foundation of what I'm doing, but mine is even more structured in that it's these touch IQ labs are going to be events where people can experience non-sexual touch, but also experience the consent and boundary work as a foundation for it. And it's but more limited in terms of what the touch is, because not everybody's going to jump into a cuddle party. But I think people can, like, you can breathe together, or you can
I
sit
love that.
shoulder to shoulder, or you can hold hands with somebody, or you can sit back to back. And those kinds of things will be like that's like a hug is like on the far end, the farthest end of what will happen in these touch labs. But I really want to create these events where people have opportunities to experience this touch. And like you said, Debbie, coming off of the pandemic where we got even more isolated from each other. And I think it's been a challenge for us to come back from. So
Yeah.
that's part of the vision. That's what we're creating.
I love it. I'm all for it. I'm gonna
Thanks.
look further into it, and
Yeah.
definitely I love that. It's awesome. I've seen those little kids that are in like kindergarten, and the teachers
Mhm.
like have like do you want a high five? Do you want to shake hands? Do you want a fist bump? Do you
Yeah.
want to hug? I'm like, I love that. Like
I think
that
it's
at such an
beautiful.
early age, teaching,
And they
people.
get to decide. And like for me, that's like the most powerful point. Like they get to like feel in themselves, what do I want? And then
And not be
decide
weird.
and
Like,
not be
right?
weird.
Like if you grow up without any touch whatsoever, some people
Yeah.
have that. Of
Yeah.
course, my mother was like the cuddle bomb, like always touching, playing
Yeah.
hair, and, like rubbing your feet or whatever. My
Uh-huh.
dad less cozy, but there was
Yeah.
a definite great balance between the two of
Hmm.
them. And I would
Yeah.
probably, there was a point where I didn't, I thought everybody's mother was like that. I thought everybody's father was like that. And just even
Yeah.
opening people's eyes to that people can be different, and
Hmm.
people's boundaries, right? Like what they are, what their physical IQ, I guess, like they
Hmm.
have a different physical IQ. Somebody holding your hand, that could be like
Hmm.
such an emotional thing for them. And for me,
Totally.
like me and my sister walk and we like bang hands and hold hands when we're walking, and
Yeah.
we don't look a thing alike anymore. And we were
Yeah.
going to our girlfriend's going to our girlfriend's party, who happens to be in a same-sex relationship. She's
Uh-huh.
married, and I had my crazy hair, and they're like, "Oh, who's the new girl?" And
Uh-huh.
the girl worked for like who's the girl worked for like Sony. So
Uh-huh.
they thought I was like some artist that was coming to the whatever. And I
Yeah.
looked familiar to them because like I hadn't had my hair like that. So they just thought I was like some pop star or something like that with
Uh-huh.
my girlfriend. And I'm just like, it's
Yeah.
my
Yeah.
sister, and I'm
My
Debbie. I
sister.
cut my hair.
And you're like, wow, that's hilarious. That
No,
is
it's too funny.
hilarious. No, I
It's
want everybody to hold hands. They'll feel better if they do, but only if it's the right thing. I mean, I know, like you, Suzanne, I don't know about you, but like my touch tolerance is high. Like it's, yeah, hug me, let's do this, whatever. But not everybody is that. But I'd love
I think
people
you
to
have to
get
know
more
though.
tolerant.
I think
Yeah,
I think letting people know that you're good with that, like I
yeah.
I could definitely walk down the street holding my friend's hand, and
Mm.
be at dinner and like touch people. I love touching, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm a big hugger.
Are you?
And
Yay.
I tell people, especially when there's that kind of connection, energy connection or something, it's like, I don't want to shake their hand. I'm like, I'm a hugger. And so, I just put my hands up when I say it
Yeah.
instead of,
Nice.
nice to meet you. Because if they're a hugger too, then it just leads into that. So yeah.
I
Yeah, I
love
guess
that.
water finds its own level, right? Like so you gravitate towards people that are, and there are people that just, they when they hug you, it's like they're giving a piece of their soul to you. You're just like, my
Mhm.
one cousin, I remember everybody just saying like, oh, you get a hug from Danny, it's like you're never the same. Like, like the rest of it, whatever was bad, your puppy is sick, you have no food. It's okay. You got a hug from Danny. You're good,
It's full. No, it's a real energy exchange. It can be anyway. That's
Yeah.
awesome.
I love this.
I appreciate you guys and your patience. I was like, Debbie, and you invited me a while ago, and I was like, I'm usually asleep, but it was like 10:55, and I was like, about to put my CPAP on.
I love your smile. I love your energy.
Like,
From day one when I met you, and it's funny
so
because my father, read the article once, right? And my dad's no longer with us, but it's one thing always sticks in my mind. I had gotten like healthier after that, and like I was rated like one of the less healthier people, right? And my father's like, you got to ask them for a rematch. Like you get those women together and you have a rematch.
A rematch. You were like the queen. Are you still doing Zumba?
So since I had my shoulder surgery, it's been like 2.5 years now. I have not been able to get back into it, but I'm starting a new job in December, and I'm making a way for. I definitely want to do like meditation and any kind of exercise that I'm 15 pounds overweight, so it's within striking.
I'm way over 15 pounds overweight from that time, but at this point,
I also raised my goal weight because it was like 171, right? Like I'm just like, you know what, 176 is just going to be just fine. I'm like going to be fine 5 pounds more, so
171. I think when we did that photo shoot, I probably was still like 180 then.
Yeah, I probably was too. Yeah.
Yeah, about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm very like distant from that now, but yeah, I'm healthy. I'm 55. I turned 56 in January. Healthy, still cycling. That's insane. I still get my cycle every month. I'm like, when is this gonna stop? Still going on.
My ex-boyfriend used to say to me, when you get it, you go, yes, I still got it. I go, no, I never said that, but I will tell everybody after that because it doesn't make you feel that good. You're right. You still got it,
I so funny. I was talking to this woman who's like a holistic health person, and she said it's such a beautiful time and you should be celebrating. I was like, I think I'm going to celebrate now because I'm just like this every month. I'm like, this could be the last month. This could be it. Let me just like be like, okay, thank you. Let's do this.
Yeah.
But
my hormones are still kicking for me, like
still kicking. I was like, I don't know what's on the other side, and I haven't had a hot flash. I haven't had anything. So I'm like, okay, let's knock wood.
I would tell myself all the time I wouldn't have hot flashes. I'm not going to have hot flashes. I'm going to go through this naturally, easily. It's all going to be good. And then like I have like that minute where I was like sweating, and my mother would be like, "Oh, so you're not going to have hot flashes?" I go, "No, I'm not. It's just hot in here, Ma."
Hot, right, exactly.
Call them power surges. I like that. One of my friends said power surges. Yeah,
that's so awesome.
Yeah.
But I'm pretty healthy, and I'm like, okay, so now, especially when you look ahead at the older people in your family, or like who are like falling apart and stuff. I'm like, what? Oh, be serious right now. You literally can see what's coming if you don't pay attention to this. So
Be
back in the
Re-Inspired
gym
started with my sister and I realizing that like we don't have to exercise the same way we were doing it, and like people come to our class and they enjoy it, and by no means is she like like dancing like the Chiquitas, like that, like she's having like a slower like Bruno Mars kind of like beat, and she still gets her sweat on, she still gets her exercise in. And then we were doing this woman that was on TV, Paula, and she was for women that are menopausal, and just doing exercises that felt good. And then I was like, when we travel, I don't have to take a red eye anymore. Like, so what? I pay for an extra day wherever I am, or I leave it. Like, you have to get out of who you were.
I love it.
And and I mean, like I said, I am never taking another red eye ever again. And like, so what? I waste the whole day in the air. And then it's like, it's not a waste of a day, and there's just so many switches that you have to like maybe put to neutral. You don't have to shut them off. And then we were looking at going to see the Northern Lights, and the only thing is a red eye. I go, that's a different story though. Like, like if you're gonna go do that, like,
And
I don't think we're gonna.
that's all that's available. You're gonna take it.
Yeah, yeah. So, and it's enjoying yourself and realizing, like, I try to fit 1,000 things into like a vacation when I do them.
Do
And
you?
we went to that Savannah in Arizona, and they have
Okay.
like the labyrinth, and they have the massages, and they have
Mhm.
the beautiful facility, and you get up in the morning and you do gratitude, and there's like a numerologist there, and it's just beautiful. I'm trying to do every single class. My sister's like, do you, but like I'm gonna just like go to the sunset, whatever. Like you don't have to do everything. So
That's
there is being on the rat race and being on that wheel, and then also like learning to take time differently.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Slow down sometimes.
Slow down.
Yeah. I mean, it's probably life stage, but I'm just like, I used to be real hot-headed. I used to be like real, like, I love, I would say I don't love drama because most of my life functions like normal, but there were like, I always had a dramatic story. And now I'm like, I could care less. There's no way. I'm like, not even going to, like, no, thank you. I'll take peace. I will take peace.
There are some people that I know in my life, and it's kind of like they're rationalizing, and they need to have their list checked off, and they need to say, I did this, I did this, I did this, and oh, my day was so, and I'm like, stop saying that, because whatever you say, you bring more of.
Right.
And it's chaotic. And I mean, I can't, neurolinguistic programming teaches you to really, really be careful with your words. And, like somebody says, oh, you're going to start a new job. You're going to have to ramp up with that. I'm like, no, I'm not. I'm home. I'm not starting till December 1st. I got a phone call today. Somebody was looking for service. I'm just like, that's so crazy. I didn't even start yet. It's 2 weeks away,
Wow.
So I'm gonna let it just happen. It's gonna happen naturally. It's gonna happen easily. And
Beautiful.
me getting squeezed out of that position, it was like I wasn't upset about it. I was like, okay, there's changes being made. And what if this is gonna open up something that's so much better for me? And I was actually on the phone with somebody that's going through almost the same thing. And I was explaining to him, I said, what if this person that's treating you this way at work is like the universe telling you to take the other exit? Like, you just need to do something differently. It's hard for us sometimes. I have no idea why she's barking. Sorry about that.
No problem.
Hey!
We can't even, you hear, I can't really hear it. I heard a little bit.
Good. She talks like a human. So
okay.
like, and usually people could hear it if I'm on the phone. So I assumed you guys could hear it. So
my darlings, I'm gonna hang up.
Beautiful.
And I'm gonna try and get in bed before my kid is out having dinner with friends. I'm like, I like to pretend to be sleeping before he gets home.
She's gorgeous, by the way.
It was great to meet you and learn about your business. That's exciting.
Oh, what a pleasure. I hope I get to hear more about you. I'll try and pop back in someday.
I love that. Anytime.
Yeah.
And anytime you want to talk about anything or whatever, just let us know. And, we could put, whatever you want me to put on this, I'll tag it. And so that this way, if anybody wants to get to you, I'll put your LinkedIn.
Put my LinkedIn in there. That's fine. People can find out. I think, well, I don't think I'm taking more people for the workshop starting tomorrow. But anyway, I'll do another one. I'll do more.
Beautiful. I'm so glad we reconnected. It's so amazing.
Yeah,
so great
such
to see
a
you.
pleasure. I've seen you on social media, but it's nice to see you in live.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, my dears. Great evening.
Okay.
See ya.
Bye.
Good night.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Susie Suze.
Yes, yes, yes. What a
That was,
beautiful lady she is.
isn't she awesome?
Yes, I love that work that she's doing. How amazing is that?
It evolved because she was doing other stuff too, and like this is just like more recently that like it's come into on my, you know, on my field of vision,
Yeah,
and that just felt so good, right?
it did. It
It
did. I
did.
was just like, yeah, I was like, oh, I want to
I
go
want to
over
go to
there
a
too.
cuddle
So I go,
party.
yeah, exactly. I want to
I
go
want to
to
go to a
that.
cuddle party. And are those people all vetted? That was my first like thought. Like, right? There's so much stuff in our world. There was this, there was this group, and it was very interesting and odd. And it was about touching, but it was more like with a sexual overtone to it. And a lot of my guy friends from the groups that I belong to, the self-help groups, they were all in it. And I always had like this weird feel about it. And then I'm watching Netflix and they're talking about the group, and it was a weird thing, right? So
Oh,
it was it was I don't know, like I have to like go to that part of my mind. So it was about the men not satisfying themselves and being touching of the women. And it was all about the women being pleasured. And like all these very fine men were like saying, Debbie, we would love like for you. And like, we're just gonna like, just like this, I can't even do this. It's like, but I'm like, thank you for asking. But like, yeah, come back to me in like 10 years. I don't know. There were people that were in it and they were doing it, and they had like a break off group that was like a goddess group, and they would like empower each other and like like they're worthy of this, and it wound up to be like a cultish kind of thing, and it was like really
wow.
crazy. I'll have to get the name of the group, but that went through my mind. But that's so negative because it's such a beautiful thing that she's doing, but my mind went to that, and then I'm
Yeah.
glad that I just said it
Well,
out.
and I like how when she brought that up, she said that she kept saying that it has a lot to do with consent
Yes.
and exploring and honoring boundaries. And I'm like, so yeah, she definitely is.
On
There's a
the right.
lot of education in that, not just a safe space. There's a lot of education. That's exciting.
Yeah, I do think that, you know, with the pandemic and everything, less people, you know, are, but this is, I'm just like thinking of certain people in my life. There's a lady at the grocery store, and like literally, I'll be bagging my stuff, and she takes my hand. She's like, "Oh, Debbie, it's so good to see you." Like just that little interaction, right? Like that's
Yeah.
like a hug, you know?
Yeah, it is. It is. And
Yeah,
I remember that from like growing up, the little old bit, back when trick or treating was safe and you'd go to the grandma's next door and
yeah,
they gave you caramel apples or popcorn balls or whatever, before the razor blade thing came out. But it was just like going over their house, they would
yes,
always just, yeah, not
yeah,
all of them hugged you, but they all touched you and hugged you some way, even if their arms didn't go around you. And I remember that was one of the neatest things ever to do.
yeah.
Yeah.
I'm feeling like you're probably like my mom. Like when your son is near you, like what kind of like she would always be like, just my hand, my shoulder, my hair, you
Yeah,
know?
yeah, yeah. Well,
Yeah.
and I when he was growing up, since he was the only child, I'd be like, "Hey, come here for me." He goes, "Oh, you need my energy, don't you?" But his favorite thing, which is so funny, is that and I don't know exactly how it happened. He says it's because when I would get anxious or whatever, I would like grab this hair right here. Not, I didn't yank on his
Yeah,
hair, but
yeah.
so to this day, if he
You would
doesn't
do that.
feel good, he wants to put his head in my lap and just have me tug on his hair.
That's so that's so crazy because I know you don't know the story, but I've been saying that tonight that my mom's with the touching, so this story's probably has to come out, right? So when my mother was on her, 3 weeks of winding down and she was home, she was like on hospice and she was still at the house. And had like a twin, like hospital bed. And she kept saying, come and cuddle with me. And like my sister's like it's a little freaking hospital bed. And then she was asking Helen, like, come in and cuddle with me. Helen's just like, I can't get in that bed. So she's like, Debbie Ann, I'm asking everybody to come cuddle with me. Nobody will cuddle with me. Come cuddle with me. And I'm like, okay, move over, right? Like I have my clothes on, right? Like I pick up the blankets and I like laid in bed with her. And now those beds are like they're not big at all, you know? And
Right.
I was in like sort of like this way, and her hand was in my hair, and she was doing that thing that she used to do. She like play with my hair. Everybody like will always play with my hair, right? So she's playing with my hair, playing with my hair. And then she goes, all right, I'm tired. That's enough. And we took a picture. Like that was the last picture I took with my mom. And she
Oh,
looked at it and she said, who's she? And I go, what do you mean, who's she? And she goes, her. Who's her? And I go, that's you, Ma. And she goes, oh my God. Like that's not me, Debbie. You know, like I'm that's just like she couldn't comprehend that like she was at that state, you know. And I did
wow.
take a picture of my hand on her hand, like because I've seen that, like I worked in a photo lab, like so I always would see that, thought it was beautiful, you know.
Mhm.
And if I am in that exact position and I'm laying down, I can feel her.
Oh, wow, that's
It
cool.
doesn't happen all the time, but it will happen, and it's like such an insane gift to have that. Like, I mean, the stories with my mama so unbelievable sometimes. Like, and I'm like, I'm writing that book, and I'm just like going through the stories, and I'm just like, it's you can't even really put them into words. I got to keep talking about them and just like, because people can have that experience. Like you
Yeah,
can every time you see your parent like hold their hand just a certain way, and then when they're not here anymore go, I want to feel that, and like you consciously do it and you'll feel it because you
yeah,
can put yourself back into that place.
yeah.
And yeah, I love
I
that.
took a picture of me and my dad holding hands when he was
I love that.
well, he was transitioning too. I was just like it was just something I wanted to remember.
Yeah.
And yeah, and so and yeah, I'm like, one of these days I'm probably going to get it made big and put it up on the wall just because, he it just feels good.
I feel like you're going to
Yeah.
make it into like something like with your edges and stuff and put it on like something and you know dress it up a little bit maybe, you know, like
Yeah.
beautiful.
Yeah.
It's gorgeous.
Yeah.
Were you there when your dad passed?
I was.
It's
I
such an
had
honor.
I had it, and it was too. I was in denial because he wasn't sick. However, something was was off when I saw him the last time because I had actually had come and I had just seen him in May and he passed away in June, but I'd come for one of my niece's weddings and I was looked at my dad and I'm like, "When did you get old?" And he's like, I don't know, just he didn't have much to say, but he was different. He looked different. And I, didn't put anything together. And then I had left because that's when I went on that mission in Ecuador.
Yeah.
And I got there and my mom had called and said that he had to go to the emergency room and had fluid taken off his lungs. And then when I had landed back from Ecuador, mom said that he had just went to the hospital via ambulance that morning. So to come out. So I got to spend the last few days with him. So that, I didn't stay there the whole time, but I mean, I was with him every day and we were all there when he passed away. And so,
Yeah.
yeah,
Isn't that interesting, right? Like
yeah,
the COVID thing was winding downish, but like so only two people could visit him a day. So like his wife would go and then I would go, his wife would go, Linda would go, you know, like we would
yeah,
switch, right? And then he was moved to a step down like unit and out of the hospital. And Marianne, my stepmother, read the information wrong, like with the new COVID rules. Like it said, you they are not letting you have like comfort visits anymore, whatever. It was like it was telling you the opposite of what she read. She just couldn't
Oh.
comprehend it. And she said that we could all go see daddy. I'm like, I don't know where she read this, but and she got the okay. So like we went. So all four of us were there. It was her and her sister, me and my sister, and we're in the waiting room. And she went in, and then me and my sister were gonna go see it. I mean, like this isn't supposed to be happening, right? So
Uh-huh.
she goes to the ladies' room, and my dad's vitals started crashing. And I look at the lady, and she goes, "This is it." Like right, right. And I go, "Maya, like Maya, come back, come back." And all three of us were at his bedside, and his sister-in-law was out in the waiting room. And my sister like just knew what was happening, and we were like trying to tell Marianne, and so she's just like, "We have to say goodbye to Daddy's earthly body, but we're going to embrace his heavenly body." And like as she said that, like Marianne was definitely in shock, but there was like this like thing, I guess it's his spirit, and it just like went by us like a flash.
Wow.
And Linda goes, "Did you see that?" And I'm like, "I did." And then she
Wow.
said she heard my dad, like he would talk like my uncle, like mimicking my uncle, like, "My girls," like, like, "Hey girls, how you doing?" And she was like, my my three favorite girls were with me. Like, and I was
Oh,
able to go. And when I got a reading done, they said that his mother was there to like, and I just that felt so beautiful to me. We
yeah.
left. A beautiful, beautiful day. Me and my sister both feel the same way about death. Like, it's not the end, it's the beginning of like a different form. And we're driving, and beautiful music is on, and it's gorgeous out. And we're just like, neither one of us crying, just like, wow, like we got to see daddy go off. And when we came back into the waiting room, we're like, daddy just died, right? Like to Marianne's sister. And they're like, "Diana, please come to the front desk. Diana, whatever." So that's Marianne's sister's name who passed. And
Oh,
we're like, "Diana, that's just like an odd name." Like, and to say it exactly the way like she said it, like Diana, like, so we're like, "Where's Diana?" Like that. And they go, "There's no Diana here." I'm like, "Did you hear that though? They paged Diana to the front desk." And they're like, "There is no Diana here." So like,
wow.
oh, like that's so crazy. So like figured like Diana came, swooped that up. But I'm sure
Wow.
his mom was there. And my dad did not want to be like incapacitated in any way, shape, or form. Like your dad, I feel like was had a strong energy too. He used to say,
Mm.
like, "If I can't walk like this, take me out. Like I don't wanna, and he would have never been the same. And so one time he had something with his foot. My mother had gotten him like a pair of shoes. He got a shoe bite, and then it got like infected, like,
Oh,
and he was just like, "These cheap shoes," like, and men like don't want to actually take off from work or whatever. And he was like, really, he couldn't walk. And we're like, "Hey, Dad, you can't walk." Like he wanted to take you out. He's like, "No, I didn't mean for this. This is gonna get better." Like if he sprained his ankle, it'd be like, "Hey, you want us to take you out?" My parents were. I mean, I just so weird that like they just talked about death like it was just like like another thing.
yeah.
So
Huh.
wild, so
It's
crazy.
crazy. Huh.
Whoa. But anyway, today was interesting. I just want to say this one thing. I went to the car dealership because my tire was like chewed away. It was like really weird, like just one tire. So it's like,
Oh,
and I have no idea. So since I'm going to be like driving around and everything, I just need to get that fixed. So Rocco said to me, maybe it's like warranted or whatever. I'm like, it's not gonna be warranted, but like I'll go. So I go there, and first I'm sitting upstairs. Then I come downstairs. It's taking like an awful long time, like for a tire to be changed. But I'm like, whatever. And then I sat in a different waiting room, and there's a guy filling out an application for a car dealership, right? And so I used to sell cars. So I start saying, "Hey," I'm like, "Good luck to you." And he's like, "Let me ask you, did you buy your car here?" How, like, he's really like interviewing the place. Like, I got a
oh,
really
uh-huh.
good vibe from him. And he said, I'm moving from Queens to Long Island. And he goes, I want to get a job around here because I really don't want to be going to Queens every day. So he says, so I'm going to every dealership and I want to get like the best vibe. So I was like, oh, like, and I tell him all about the dealership. And, like, I know the one guy that works there a long time. I introduced him that he could go talk to him, whatever, whatever. And then I'm like, hey, I used to be in this business, but I'm in the forklift business now. And it's like the same thing, only it's like so much better. And I'm telling him like why it's so much better. He's like, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. And I'm just like, that's so weird how that just happened. We became friends on Instagram. And he was like, I didn't even know that existed. And he's just like a super awesome customer service guy. He used to work at a building. He was like the concierge at a building. So he's
Oh,
like,
wow.
I do so good at car sales because like I didn't forget my customer service skills. He's like, they're
Yeah.
transferable. So I'm telling him you don't have to work Saturdays and Sundays and you get off at 5 o'clock every day and like and you get a salary. He's like, this is blowing my mind, right? So then I'm just like, that was an interesting interaction. Now I'm like by myself waiting, and I'm just thinking like how blessed I am that they let me go, that I didn't freak out about it, that I've like been collecting unemployment, I'm getting all my stuff done, I'm getting all this juicy good stuff going, and it's going to be an amazing job. And like it's like so weird that didn't happen to me that I lost my job. Like I, it's like
Mm,
almost like a bonus. And like I know so
yeah.
many people be like, oh my god, I lost my job. And then my friend Oren called me and he was telling me that he's like having trouble at work with getting along. And I said, this could be one of those times like when you're supposed to go in a different direction, and
Yeah.
like life is going to keep bumping you until you
Yeah.
go down the other path. And,
Yeah.
if you're not supposed to be here, you're not supposed to be here.
Yeah.
Then transfer that over to the call, right? Like Julie's not able to make it. And I'm just like, and I'm talking to Jean Marie and she's like, well, I was going to watch tonight. And I'm like, well, I just don't want to let it go. Maybe it's something that we schedule. Maybe we, say like, who's coming on tonight. And, maybe it's earlier, maybe it's later, who knows? But I don't want to let it go because I think it's a beautiful thing. And I think it will serve a purpose,
Hmm.
and adore hanging out with you too. And, and
Oh,
and then
thanks.
tonight it's like, oh, I'm not coming on. And then I saw your message. I was going to come on anyway because I was thinking that she was going to come on, and it was just so awesome that she came on. Like that was a perfect.
Yeah, that was neat. I really liked that.
I like it too.
Yeah.
Awesome. So, are you feeling any better, or
Yeah, I'm feeling a lot better. I literally could not move. I got some sort of bug. And
I think it's going around?
I think I was probably coming down with it because for a couple days before I actually got sick, I had been like, my neck had been really tight and sore. And I was just like, "Ugh, what's wrong? Do I just need to lay down?" But I couldn't get comfortable. And then the next day it got even worse. And then the next day, then it was just like, yeah, I hit a brick wall.
Yeah. And for some godforsaken reason, the allergies are so crazy. My eyes are all red again. And I'm like,
Oh,
I can't understand. So I did the Benadryl at night, which like Julie was doing.
oh yeah.
And it seemed to help a little bit, but sometimes, and there's a whole bunch of people that got this weird sickness where they're really incapacitated for like 2 days and then they're okay.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah,
So
today I just feel kind of stuffy, but that wasn't any part of what was going on. I mean, my insides wanted to be on the outside. I was
crazy.
just, yeah, so I'm just like, I don't know what it was, but I think definitely something's going around. So,
All right.
yeah, but
Okay.
I'm glad
So,
I'm on the mend.
yeah, excellent. And I start my job December 1st. They decided I passed the drug
Yay.
test and the background check. And
Yay.
like I said, that guy calls me today and he's just like, hey, I need service. I'm just like, oh, I'm not with that company anymore. And all right, well, who are you with? And then I told them who I'm with. And they're like, oh, we buy stuff from them. He's like, well, I'm going to buy all my stuff from you. And I said, well, I can't, if you're buying them from them already, it's not. And he goes, nope, nope, you're my salesperson. I'm like, oh my God. So I called my
Wow.
boss and I said, this guy wants to get in touch with you. And he's just like, yeah, I know him. And I go, it's cool. And he's like, no, Debbie, anything you sell in New York is yours. I'm like, what? Like, so that means like whatever they
Wow.
sell in New York is going to be mine too. So nuts. Such an opportunity.
Wow. Wow. That just keeps
Yeah.
getting bigger and bigger and bigger.
Yeah. And one of my really close customers like that would recommend me to anybody opened up his own place. So he's not affiliated with the place that he used to work. But he's like, hey, I'm going to be needing equipment soon. And I'm like, well, how soon? Because like, just hang on a minute. Like I got like 2 weeks, and
Yeah.
then, so that's going to start me off because he knows a lot of people too. And the big head sales guy, I just saw he announced that he's not with them either. So real
Wow.
weird. Yeah, I think they're
Uh,
going to probably collapse,
uh,
so I got out at a perfect timing, like,
yeah.
yeah, got
The
to have
universe
the
knew
summer off.
had your back.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you, Bob. Thanks,
Yeah.
Dad. I don't like when it's a business thing. I don't know which one of them it is.
Yeah.
All righty, girlfriend.
Right.
I love your glasses tonight. Those are so cute.
Oh, thank you so much. These are my biggest ones, but they're probably
Those
my
are so
most
cute.
favorite.
Yeah. It's so
They're
cute.
my embracing my inner child.
I love them.
Yeah.
Are they prescription or are they just like
Oh, they're
computer?
prescription.
Love it.
Yeah. Thank you.
Awesome. All righty.
All right. Good night.
Mwah. Touch.
Yes. Yes. Lots of touches. Hugs and
Lots of
hugs.
touches. Good night.
Good night.
Max. We touch Max. So that was such a refreshing, awesome midnight spark. And you guys, I'm going to tag the doc in this post, and I hope to have more refreshing days like today. And it's all good. Hopefully, my allergies are going to go away soon. And have a great night. Thank you for visiting. If you want to be on Midnight Spark and talk about anything that inspires you, get in touch. Let us know you're coming, and we'll accommodate. Thank you. Have a really great night.